What's going on? We back
What
again.
up?
It's been a couple of weeks, man, but we back in here for the one time for the one time 99s and the 2000s. Uh but yeah, man, today, in the middle of the summer where it's not a lot of stuff going on in the NFL, we got some things that we want to talk about today. And today, what we talking about today, Nico?
So today, I thought it would be cool if we kind of had our top 10 teams, what we thought were our top 10 teams going into the season. Now that most of the draft is done, well, the draft is done. There's still some free agents out there, but most of the teams are getting ready to make those final cuts.
Mm-hmm.
So just wanted to kind of do some early predictions of where we think are going to be the top 10 teams going into next season.
Right, exactly. And I feel like this is a great topic, especially for now, because most teams have their players. It's after free agency, after the draft, after the trades. Now we got a really good look at what teams are going to look like going into next season. I mean, granted, there are some changes that'll probably happen during training camp once some teams realize, like, hey, we thought this group was going to be better, or like this defensive line was going to be better, but we need some help, so we're going to get some veteran players. But for the most part, most teams are good to go. So I feel like this is a perfect time and a perfect topic to talk about. But you want to go first, or you want me to chime
Uh,
in and go ahead?
you go first. You go.
I,
You
I
go
go
first.
first. All right. So for my top 10 NFL teams of 2025, I'm gonna start from 10 to 1.
All right.
Coming in at 10, I got the Buccaneers. I got the Buccaneers coming in at 10. Um, I think they're gonna be really good this year. Um, they brought in Emeka Egbuka. That wide receiver room is really good. Emeka Egbuka in the slot, or I think they'll probably actually leave Chris Godwin in the slot if I'm not mistaken. But they got Emeka Egbuka, Chris Godwin, Mr. 1,000 yards a year over there, Mike Evans.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be really, really good. The head coach and the GM just got an extension as well, so that means the owner is going all in on the team. So, and honestly, like they've been really good the last 2 or 3 seasons. When they played the Commanders last year, they were probably going to win that game if Baker Mayfield didn't fumble the ball, and of course Jaden Daniels didn't drive the team down the field to win it with a field goal. But they were in good position to win that game, and we already know when they play the Eagles, they usually beat the Eagles, and the Eagles just won a Super Bowl. So it's not a matter of can they hang with the top teams in the league. It's just sometimes the chips haven't fell where they should have fell. Baker Mayfield, in my mind, he's a top tier quarterback. He's around top 8 at least in my mind. So it's a good team. I got him at number 10.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9, man. Number 9, I got the Chargers. I got the Chargers. Um, I think they're much improved. They got Amari Hampton, right? They got Amari Hampton and Najee Harris. So they got their speed back, and Amari Hampton kind of do it all back. Amari Hampton. Najee Harris is their bruiser back. And they're both of the backs are very, very versatile. And we already know how Jim Harbaugh likes to run the ball, and he got his backs in there. I also saw that they're in OTAs they had like the patches on their jersey with the accolade. I thought that was something cool because I've never seen that, at least in NFL. I know college they do the little stickers on the helmet, but I thought that was
Mm-hmm.
cool him bringing that over there to the Chargers facility. So they're doing things a little bit different, and I'm expecting a lot out of Justin Herbert this year. I'm expecting a lot out of Justin Herbert, man. He usually has great regular season success, but when it gets to the playoffs, it just hasn't panned out. Granted, I don't know. They didn't really do much at wide receiver other than McConkey. But I'm expecting a lot out of him this season. I mean, especially in the playoffs. I expect them to make the playoffs. I expect them to win at least one game because I don't think he's won a game since he's been in the league. So um I got them at number 9. Number 9. So
Okay.
going on to number 8, we got the Packers. The Green Bay.
Mm.
The Packers have finally drafted a wide receiver in the Matthew Golden was drafted with the 23rd pick, and this is something that they really needed because their wide receiver room has been their crutch over the last few years. So now it looks like they got a solid wide receiver, and we've seen wide receivers come into this league and make immediate impacts their rookie season. So I'm expecting something out of Matthew Golden. He's looking like he's going to probably be the number one target. If not the number one target, then at least a he's going to get targeted a good amount for him to.
Yeah.
So I expect the offense to be better. Even when the Packers played the Eagles last season, you could just see it. Like their wide receiver room was so depleted. I think they lost two wide receivers in that same game. Like they both got injured. So that's
Yeah.
usually have a solid defense. So I got them at number 8, man. I got them as number 8, and I think they're gonna battle it out with the Lions on who's gonna come out in the NFC North.
Do you feel that they have improved their secondary with the loss of Jerry Alexander?
So no.
Okay.
but this is my thinking. I don't follow the Packers too much. But for them to release Jair Alexander, my thinking is they have something in mind for them to do that. I did see reports that they had wide receivers out there
Yeah.
playing cornerback and stuff, which isn't really a good look. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But at least they got the wide. Like I feel like them having a solid wide receiver was more of the priority than their secondary going into the offseason. But now it's kind of looking like they're the most poor group in the on the team is the cornerbacks. But
Okay.
we'll see, man. Packers always find a way to be in the mix. And I actually do think the Lions are going to take a step back this year. I got them at number 7. So number 7, I got the Lions. I would have them higher, bro, but it's something about losing their offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, and their defensive coordinator. I can't remember his name, but it's if it doesn't
Aaron
feel
Glenn.
right. Yeah, yep. Glenn. And then like Jared Goff. I'm not the biggest fan of Jared Goff. Granted, he has had some pretty good seasons, right? He had some pretty
Yeah.
good seasons with Sean McVay and Ben Johnson, if I'm not mistaken. Those are two perennial offensive minds, and now they're gone. Like he doesn't have that this season. He still has a good coach. He still has a good head coach, but he's played his best football when he's had those great offensive coordinators. So we'll see what the offensive coordinator comes in and do this season. But I think they're going to take a step back. Now I still got them at 7, so they're not like outside the top 10. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
don't hound me down. But I think they're going to take a step back. But they are going to get healthy on defense though, with Hutchinson coming back. They still got some dogs on offense, but they did lose their guard to retirement. I will say that. Um,
Their guard, and I think they lost another
Kevin
offensive
Zeitler.
lineman. Yeah.
Kevin Zeitler. They drafted Tate Ratledge and Miles Frazier, so they kind of, fill those gaps.
Yeah.
But I think they'll still be solid. I think it's going to be again between the Packers and the Lions next season. So I got them at 7. Number 6, I got the Rams. Now, I am very high on the Rams at number 6 because last playoffs they gave the Eagles the most run for their money. But granted, it was a snow game, so anything goes, anything happens. But they were like, it was late in the game. Matthew Stafford was driving on them, and Jalen Carter sacks him, and that was pretty much it after that sack, bro. But I thought if Jalen Carter didn't, I thought they was gonna score, bro, and I thought they was gonna take care of the Eagles. They also added Devontae Adams, which I think is a step above Cooper Kupp. Now, granted, Cooper Kupp in his prime is really good, but
for sure.
I just think he's past his prime right now. And Devontae Adams is still really good at his age as well. So I think that's a step up in the wide receiver room. They still got Puka Nacua. And yeah, I think I expect them to be really good. They got two solid quarterbacks. I mean, wide receivers. They still got their running back over there, and they still got Matthew Stafford, which is the most important thing. So, uh,
Mm-hmm.
I got
Exactly
them at
that.
number 6. Got them at number 6. Number 5, I got the Commanders. I got the Commanders at number 5. They added Laramie Tunsil, one of the top 5 left tackles in the league. We added Debo Samuel. I always want to add an S on his name. I don't know why. Debo Samuel. We added
This is for
Debo.
number
So
five.
yeah, I got
Okay.
them ranked at number 5. Um, I expect us to be a lot better this season in Jaden Daniels' second year. The only thing that I'm worried about is the defensive line. We don't have any edge rushers. I think we'll be a lot better against the run, which is our biggest problem we had last year because all the guys we brought in here are really pretty good at against the run. But when it gets to those 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 9s, 3rd and 7s, I'm kind of worried about if we're gonna be able to get off the field or not. Uh,
Mm,
because we don't have any edge rushers. We can't really. None of the guys in our room are proven uh uh pass rushers or
yeah.
consistent pass rushers to the point where they're racking up 8, 9, 10 sacks per season consistently. So none of those guys are. Our best pass rusher, it looks like it's Frankie Louvu right now, as outside linebacker. So we'll see if we can scheme up some things, but
Mm-hmm.
we'll definitely be better against the run. So I got us at number 5. um
Number
Number
four.
4, I have the Buffalo. Now, my number 4. Now, my top 4 teams, it was kind of hard because they're kind of interchangeable in my mind. So don't like breathe down my throat because a lot of these 4 teams, they can be slotted out a lot
Right.
of different ways. But number 4, I got the Bills. I got the
Mm-hmm.
Bills at number 4. I just feel like they didn't do much for the wide receiver room. I don't know,
Yeah.
man. Like Josh Allen, like he's really, really good. But the only wide receiver, what other than having Stephon Diggs, what other wide receiver has he really like Patrick Mahomes had Tyreek Hill, he has Travis Kelsey, Jalen Hurts has those 2 wide receivers over Devontae Smith, AJ Brown,
Mm-hmm.
um, uh, Lamar Jackson. He hasn't really had wide receivers like that, but he has Derrick Henry last season. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like they're not doing him a good service, not bringing in a top tier wide receiver room, bro. Like I feel like he needs that. So that's why I kind of got him at 4, man. I feel like they're going to be pretty much what they were last season. I don't see them beating like the Eagles. They beat the Ravens, but I don't see them beating the Eagles or the Chiefs for real. I think they're going to take a
Yeah.
step back, actually.
Yeah.
So I got them at 4. Number 3, I got the Eagles. I got the Eagles at number 3. I think they take a slight step back as well. Losing Milton Williams, who was probably their second best lineman last season behind Jalen Carter. They also lost he went to the Cardinals.
Sweat.
Sweat, Josh Sweat. They
Mm-hmm.
also lost CJ who was he was kind of like the heart and soul of that defense. He got them up and going.
Yeah.
And they also lost one of their veteran cornerbacks, and they're replacing them with a third year guy who hasn't really started that much. Um, what's his name? I forgot what team he went to. The veteran that they lost. So they lost some pieces on that defense. But they also gained a pretty
Darius
good
Slay. I
Darius
heard
Slay.
that.
Darius Slay.
Yeah.
But they lost some pieces, but they gained one good piece. The linebacker out of Bama,
Mm-hmm.
Campbell. John Campbell, he's coming off an injury and he's a rookie, so it's kind of hard for them to lean on him. Just coming as a rookie linebacker, like that's a lot to ask out of a rookie. So I think they're still going to be really good. I got them at number 3, but I think they
Mm-hmm.
do take a step back, a little bit, in that regard. But their offense is still intact, so they're still going to be really good. Number 2, I got the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs
Okay.
coming in at number 2. Rasheed Rice should be back healthy this season.
Yeah.
Um, so that's a big target for Mahomes. We saw what Mahomes did last year with really. not much, but Travis Kelce. And Travis Kelce, in my opinion, last year was a shell of himself a little bit. He's getting to that age where he's not 100. Like he's not going to play like he's in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
But they got Rasheed Rice coming back, Xavier Worthy coming in his second season. He should be more acclimated with the offense. Still got Hollywood Brown. He only played 2 regular seasons last season, and so those 3 guys are going to be their 3 wide receivers.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're going to come out hungry.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna see a hungry Patrick Mahomes. The way he got embarrassed in the Super Bowl, I think they're going to come out with something to prove, and I think that's scary for the league if we get a hungry Patrick Mahomes because we see what type of
Mm-hmm.
player Patrick Mahomes has been in his career. So, and the number one team I got, can you guess it?
No, I can't
It's the
because I
Ravens.
mean it's the Ravens. Oh, okay.
It's the
Oh,
Ravens
yeah, yeah.
because that's pretty much the only other team I left off. It's the Ravens. I got the Ravens. They added Jair Alexander to their secondary. Now, granted, Jair
Mm-hmm.
Alexander has been injured a lot these past few years, but their secondary, bro, is nasty. It's their secondary is really nasty. And they brought in the Georgia safety, Malachi Starks, to pair with their other All Pro safety that they have.
Yeah.
This team, I feel like this team is going to be very nasty, bro.
Let
Um,
me let me ask you this, and then also it gives me a chance to go blow my nose. Um, what are any teams that you think should be like notable mentions that
oh,
you
mhm.
you know 11 or 12, right? That you
Okay,
were
yeah.
debating about, and I'll be right back to
All right. So honorable mentions. So all right, I got my Ravens at my number one spot. So the honorable mention teams that didn't make the top 10, but as 11 and 12, that was like thinking about it. I got the Houston Texans, man. A lot of people like to talk about how CJ Stroud had a down. He didn't have a down year. His offensive line had a down year, but he still won his division. Granted, his division is bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a pretty bad division, but he still won his division. CJ Stroud still won his division. He still won a playoff game. So he pretty much did exact same thing he did last year, with a bad O line and losing his 1 and 2. He lost all 3 of his wide receivers, his starting wide receivers at some point this season. So
uh-huh.
they all missed significant time. So um I leave them as honorable mention. You could put them at 11 and 12. And the other team, you could put 11 and 12 too. And really, they could be in the top 10. I just didn't put them in my top 10. The Denver Broncos, man. The Denver Broncos is nasty. I ain't gonna lie to you. That defense is top tier. They're probably top 2 right now. If they wasn't, it was between them and the Eagles last season. You can switch them out. But
Hmm.
then they added to what how you pronounce his name? Hufanga.
Yeah, Hufanga.
Yeah, Hufanga for the 49ers, really solid player. They drafted Jade Barron to play. I think
Uh-huh.
he's a slot corner, right? Um,
Yeah.
yeah, Denver. Yep. Um, yeah, they added Jade Barron. They still got the Pat Surtain. I can't remember what offense. Oh, they added a tight end too that came over from um
Jacksonville, right?
Jacksonville. Yeah, they added
Everett.
the tight end from Jacksonville. Yeah. So I expect them to be better. Bo Nix is a dog. He a
Yeah.
straight dog, and he's another year under that system. So I expect them to be really good, as well. So that's a team that I got in my honorable mention. The Broncos and the Texans.
Mm, okay.
Nah, who
Okay.
they who they who they didn't make my top 10,
I was
unfortunately.
gonna say, I noticed that they didn't make your top 10.
They did not. It's
Um,
the same team, but worse on defense from last year.
I mean, yeah, right. At least up to this point. I mean,
Yeah, it's the same team. Now, granted, just is Joe Burrow going to have a good year? Of course, he's going to have a good year. But is that defense going to give up 35 points per game? Probably. So he's going to have to
yeah,
score 36, which is going to be very hard to do. So we'll see.
so crazy. What's going on over there?
Yeah,
It's Yeah, it's wild. Only the Bengals. Only the Bengals. So mine is a little. There's some differences, and then there's some similarities between
Mm,
mine and yours. So for instance, for me, for number 10, I started with the Lions. I put the Lions up there. Pretty much everything you said. The two coordinators are gone, right? That does play an impact.
mm-hmm.
You have new coordinators, new playbook for both sides of the field. Now, granted, they still got the core, right? They still got all their wide receivers, pretty much. They still got the running backs. They still got the quarterback. So, though, at least that is familiar, right? So
Right.
that's not changing. It's just the words and stuff like that. So um, that's why I have them still up there, but I think the coordinator is gonna hurt them a little bit. Then I put the Steelers. Not just because they added Aaron Rodgers, even though I do think that's, I mean, obviously better than well, what whoever they would have had to gone with if Aaron Rodgers did not go or if he decided to retire. They have DK Metcalf on that field. I believe they still have Johnson. Here I pulled up the depth chart.
That's
Oh yeah,
interesting.
they have Roman Wilson. They got Sky
Darius
Miller,
Slay.
who's from.
That's where Darius
Uh,
Slay went, right? He went to the Steelers, right? If I'm not
Let me see.
mistaken.
Yes, I was gonna get to there, but
That's who they.
go
Yeah.
ahead. Is there some? Were you just saying that's the team he went to?
Yeah. I couldn't think of what team he went to. I think he did go to the Steelers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did. And so, like, look at this. Like, look at the offense, though, right? You got Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Warren, right? Who a lot of people are talking about being a dog.
Yeah.
Caleb Johnson and the running backup. Then you got DK Metcalf, Robert Woods, and Calvin Austin the third. I think Calvin Austin the third is one of those people that people don't really remember, but he was kind of outshining at some points. George Pickens. You still got Pat Fryermuth and Darnell Washington over there,
Hmm.
and then that offensive line is starting to work together. And then on, as you mentioned, on the defensive side, I mean that defense, them adding Darius Slay, they still got Micah Fitzpatrick over there.
Hmm.
They still got Patrick Queen over there.
Even though
They
he had
still
a
got
down
TJ
year,
Watt.
I Patrick Queen, he's the I feel like he's the X factor to this team. He needs to play good this season
Mhm.
because of the jury out on him before he got to the Steelers was that he needs to play with Roquan Smith. Or
Yeah.
he only looked good because he was playing with Roquan and he didn't have the best season last season. So I expect him to be a lot better this season too.
And again, like that was his first year over there, but yeah, he needs to
Yeah.
step up, and I think he will. And then
Mhm.
lastly, I even look at special teams. They got Chris Boswell, solid
Mhm.
guy kicking the ball. So,
Before I let
again,
you go though, they did draft Derek Harmon on that defense. I don't know if you mentioned that on the defensive line in
I
the
did
first
not,
round. He's
I
a
did
he's a
not.
dog to go with Cam Hayward, and they're probably still gonna bring back TJ Watt. So
Yeah,
I like them at number 9 for you.
number
That was
9.
good.
Then I got 8. I put the Vikings. I know you didn't mention the Vikings in your list. The
Yeah.
Vikings. I mean, they kept everyone. I don't, they
Yeah.
still got Hawkinson. They still got Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason. They added Jordan Mason, right? So now they got Jordan Mason, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Hawkinson, as I mentioned, and then uh, that the defense again, they were able to keep most of everyone there.
Hmm.
So I know obviously the biggest thing is if JJ McCarthy pans out, but from what I have seen from that coach, it he can incorporate anyone. I feel like that coach has done such a good job with I don't want to say like with backups, but with like players that are not necessarily supposed to be stars, but he's done good with them. Imagine what he's gonna do with a person who everyone is saying, "Hey, he is good. He is so good." In fact, the Vikings said, "You know what? We don't need Aaron Rodgers here. This kid is so good."
My thing before we move on, my thing about that
Yeah,
is when it comes, I still think of JJ McCarthy as a rookie QB. And
fair.
when it comes to rookie QBs, I don't expect, like, even when Jaden Daniels came over to the Commanders, I gave us 6-7 wins
Hmm.
his first season. Now, granted, the Vikings team was better than the Commanders. So I expect them to win a little bit more games, but it's just hard for me to put them in the top 10 and expect them to be at least the level they were last season with a rookie QB. I'm just not gonna put that on his shoulders. But I can see JJ McCarthy having a really good season. I'm just say that.
I mean, they made Sam Darnold look like a person that's about that was. They were talking about max contract. So if you make Sam
Ooh,
Darnold
you right.
look look that good, again, I think I like what you said. Let's wait to see how the rookie does. But if what people are saying, if what everyone feels like, what I feel like JJ McCarthy could be,
Yeah.
I think they're going to be in there. Then I did have the Broncos at 7. All right, pretty much everything you mentioned. That defense, man, I just got so much respect for that defense, and they also added to it. So they kind of just reloaded on that end. My only
Yeah.
worry is still a little bit the wide receiver room for
Yeah.
Denver. Um, I don't think they
I
did
mean,
anything
well,
too
okay.
much there.
Sutton is Sutton the true number one receiver?
Is he a true number one?
He,
I would
that's
I would say
tough.
like barely. Yes, but he just barely got to that. He just got that title. He needs to. uh, He it can easily be taken away. I don't think it's like a solidified number one. But yes,
Yep.
as of now, he's number one.
They added Evan Ingram. We'll see how much Evan Ingram can provide help. They still got some young guys over there as well. So we'll see about their development. But I like Denver. And Commanders play Denver this season, man. That's gonna be a game. That is gonna be a game,
That
bro.
is, and then
So
it's something that many people may not have looked on. J.K. Dobbins is in
yeah,
for the Broncos,
yes,
so I think the
J.K.
Broncos
Dobbins.
definitely have retuned that running back room. They just need to, that the wide receiver room is still their Achilles heel for me.
Yeah.
And also just a shout out for the on the defensive side, they got Dre Greenlaw as well,
Oh yeah, I
and they
forgot about
still got Nick Bonito or
Big
Bonito.
Benito, the edge rusher. Woo!
Man,
I ain't
that
gonna lie,
dude
man.
is.
That team look. If Dre Greenlaw, I know he coming off that injury, but if he can
Mhm.
get back to where he was, and then they got Hufanga back there with Pat Sertain and Jade. Oh my goodness, that team looks scary, bro. Um,
It's so
that's gonna be
scary.
nasty. It's gonna be nasty.
And then the Rams. Then number 6, I got the Rams, which is right
Okay.
where you and I both. It's the first team that you and I have on each other's list, and we actually have them in the same place at number 6. And everything you said, you know, they upgraded with Devontae Adams. They still got Nakua. They still got Tutu. They still got Tyler Higbee. Obviously, the man running the general, right? Stafford. Their running back room is solid. I was worried last year about the defense, but after last year, I'm pretty content with the defense. I just don't know if they still have done enough.
Who's their corners?
Uh,
Who are the Rams corners?
the
Their
Rams
sec their
corners
secondary is questionable. I feel like that's the only thing.
yeah, Darius Williams, um, and Witherspoon. Witherspoon is good.
Witherspoon.
Witherspoon is good. Yeah.
I thought okay. Hmm.
No, he that it's another Witherspoon.
Okay,
'Cause
yeah.
I know which one you're talking about. He
The
plays
one that
for
played for
Seattle.
Seahawks. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Okay.
but I remember him that name at least. I think he's solid. But yeah, I
Oh
agree
wait,
with
wait,
you. I
wait.
think that's the weakness.
Oh, okay, never mind. My mind. Continue. My bad.
Okay. Then after the Rams, this is interesting because we have them kind of flipped. Not number 5. I have the Bills. uh, I agree. I think the Bills, bes- besides Dalton Kincaid, who are you really afraid of? I mean, Josh Allen. So Josh
Um,
Allen and Dalton Kincaid on the offensive side are those
no, the
weapons.
running back, their running back is solid too.
Okay, James Cook. James Cook.
James Cook is solid, but you right. I mean, No one. You can play a lot of man coverage against them and try to stop Josh Allen. Um, so
Yeah.
if I just don't understand how they haven't rectified since getting rid of Stephon Diggs, how they haven't gotten him a real wide receiver, like one, like
Well,
either in
because
the
I feel
draft.
like they believe that Khalil Shakir is that guy because that's who they got in number one, and I would say if Shakir and Coleman can be the one-two punch that it looked like they were kind of trending to be, then okay.
Yeah,
But I don't think it was enough to put too much fear into anyone's eyes. Consistency. I think consistency is a big thing with Keenan Coleman and Shakir. Like there was games where they did really good, but
hmm
like it was. I don't think it was like ever really consistent. Them having
and that's
really
the
good
thing.
games
Like
back to back.
I really like Coleman. I just don't know if he's ever going to develop into that technical.
Yeah,
Like he's a very good athlete. He's a very good athlete, but as like
yeah.
a wide receiver, the technical side of things, the route running, I just don't know if he's ever going to develop into that type of wide receiver for them. But who knows, man? He could have a breakout season this his sophomore season. He could really go crazy. So I think that's why you're right. I think they are betting on Coleman and Shakira this season to make steps forward.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Then at number four, I have your team, the Washington Commanders. Right, so
that's
it's interesting
crazy.
that you had them at five,
Yeah,
and I
you
had
have
them
them
at
higher than
four.
I
Yeah,
do.
yeah. I mean, they did really good last year, and I think
Yeah,
they just pretty much tuned things up. They tried to improve where they could. I agree with you. I think your guys' D line is still the weak point.
yeah.
Which uh, that's going to be very hard when you have to face teams like the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Ravens, possibly teams that have a good running game. That's going to be that's going to be an interesting matchup for you guys.
Nah, see, so I will say this. This is what I believe, and
Hmm.
based off the players that they brought in, I really do think our running game, our defensive line will be able to stop the run because we brought in people like Javon Kinlaw, who's a really good, solid run stuffer. Um, Dietrich Wise, who's a really good run stuffer. We still got Deron Payne, Johnny Newton. The big guy, the big nose tackle we got from Atlanta Falcons. I forgot Eddie Goldman. So we improved on a run, but it's like we sold. We was like, okay, we're gonna fix our biggest issue, which was stopping the run from last
Yeah.
year. But now we don't got anybody to rush the passer. So guys are going to be back there just waiting to be able to throw the ball. That's what I'm scared of. When we play Pat Mahomes, who can extend plays, that's going to be
Mm,
scary. When we play Lamar Jackson, like you said, the Ravens, that's going to be super scary because now, but we play the Eagles though, that's going to be a little bit better because they like to run the ball. And the thing that you want Jalen Hurts to do, if you had to pick a poison on the Eagles, you would want you would rather force Jalen Hurts to pass than to have them continuously hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley. So you
mm,
got to pick your poison, and I'm glad we picked the poison with the run because we're probably going to run into the Eagles in the playoffs again. And
yeah,
we'll be better suited than we were last year because they killed us. Saquon has 600 yards in 3 games against us. That makes no sense. That makes no
yeah.
sense, bro. So
They just yeah. Um, okay, then let's see. Let's see. Then third, I have the Ravens. I think third I have the Ravens. Um, just now I put them third because again I don't know. I think consistency in that wide receiver room is still a little bit of an issue. I don't know who, again, for me, it always comes to consistency. It's a big part of it. And I don't know if I've seen that from Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman. I think adding DeAndre Hopkins is a great addition,
mhm,
but I mean, he's older, right? So,
yeah.
um, Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely are still there, and they still got their offensive line. So, I mean, they got everything still in place, but that wide receiver room is still just a little bit inconsistent for me. Defense,
Yeah.
like you said, adding Jerry Alexander, that room is crazy.
This is
I will say, go ahead.
no, you can go finish. I'm gonna just
Okay.
say whatever I got to say at the end.
And then I think the other thing that kind of makes them go down a little bit is they're going to be without Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker is not going to be on that team through decisions that he made,
Yes, 10 game
and
suspension too. So
yeah, so I think that's gonna that that definitely hurts a team, right? If you don't have a good kicker. What were you
so
gonna say?
the Ravens come down to, they just have to execute. They don't have any excuse to lose. Like, they didn't really have an excuse to lose last year. They didn't have an excuse to lose against the Chiefs the year before. They just haven't been getting
Mm,
done. And at some point, it's going to start to hurt. If it hasn't already, it's going to start to hurt Lamar Jackson's legacy, because he plays so well in the regular season, but when it gets to the playoffs, he does have those moments where it's like I remember watching him 2 years ago against the Chiefs, and I'm like, bro, take off. You don't have to prove a point to prove to the league that you can pass the ball. And it's like his decision making when he gets to the playoffs, it's just not there. Even last year when they played the Bills, when he had that intercept or the fumble, I can't remember, was it a fumble or interception? Um, I think he fumbled and he threw an interception last year against the Bills, and then he had to bring his team back, and he did a good job of bringing the team back. But it's like, why were you even in that position to begin with, right? So at some point, it's going to be on Lamar's shoulders. It is on Lamar's shoulders right now, and at some point, it's just going to be like, are you going to get it done? Because like
and I think
Miller.
and to that point, like I don't want to say it's more on Lamar because he's done it both ways. I agree that 2 years ago he was trying to prove the point of, hey, I can pass. Because no, 2 years ago he was running a lot, and then
Yeah,
I think this past year he was trying to make the point to pass it a little bit more. And the problem was that, again, for me, those wide receivers, I think the wide receivers not catching the balls. I think Zay Flowers had a couple drop passes. Um, I know Rashad Bateman had a couple drop passes. Um, like
it's been a little bit of both. Like, you right. I mean, Zay Flowers did have a drop pass, but he's had some errant throws in the playoffs too. But like, you can't deny that. And I get it. Like, every quarterback's going to make mistakes, but it just
yeah,
seems like it comes at the worst times. I feel like, man, like I don't know, because
it's
if he
interesting how
doesn't,
you watch him. Yeah,
I I love Lamar, bro. I really want him to get a Super Bowl, bro. But like, at some point, it's going to be like, um, they're just going to be like, oh, Lamar's a regular season guy. Like, he's 2-4 in the playoffs. Um, and he a lot of these losses he's had on paper, he's had the better team. Like, he's had the team with all these all pro players, and it's like, bro, Josh Allen has no all pro players except Josh Allen, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you
you messing me, you losing me with that a
So
little
so
bit.
so this past season, I don't think the Bills had any All Pro players.
Dalton Kincaid.
I No, he wasn't first or second team All Pro, if I'm not mistaken. For the
Okay,
AFC, it was Brock Bowers was the first team All
okay,
Pro,
okay,
and it was
okay.
somebody else. It was just literally Josh Allen. On the Ravens side, you got Lamar, you got Derrick Henry, you got their safety, you got Roquan Smith,
Okay,
you
but
got
that's
some
defense.
offensive,
That's defense.
but 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 that's
Who?
but that's their
Like to your
team
point,
though.
who's
Like,
on the offensive line that he was throwing that would?
I'm gonna get to that point, but
Okay,
let me introduce you to this first one. They played the Chiefs 2 years ago. How many points did they hold them to?
I don't remember.
They held them like to like what like, I gotta look it up, but it was low. It was low. Um Hold on real quick, because I want to get you the right number.
It's just interesting because I feel
It
like,
was
and
17.
correct me here. Uh huh.
They held him to 17 points. So my point is that the defense usually does their job, is what I'm saying. So it's
Yeah.
left to Lamar and that offense to make it happen. I understand, like, he hasn't had the best wide receivers, but neither has Patrick Mahomes really. All he had last 2024 was Travis Kelce when he won the Super Bowl. Like, you gotta at some
And
point you
Rasheed
gotta make
Rice.
2 years
They
ago
have
he had Rasheed Rice.
yeah.
Okay, Rasheed Rice. Was he a rookie? Wasn't he a rookie that season?
Yeah, that was his like
Okay,
rookie
yeah.
year.
Okay, yeah, he had Rasheed Rice. But at some point, bro, like you can't be like just complaining, like not complaining, but you can't put it off on like at some point the quarterback is going to have to take um the bulk of the playoff success or not success that's been going on with the
I
Ravens
mean, it
is my
always goes
point.
on the quarterback. I mean, and it's always on the quarterback, whether they lose or win. And it's just like what I was trying to get to is like, it's interesting because when you watch him, it sounds like you're saying, man, he needs to do more in the decision making department in the critical moments of the game on critical plays. And then when I watch him, I'm always like, remember leaving like, man, like the team needs to help this dude out because he's running the ball. He's trying to make these plays. He's trying to extend. He's passing, and I just feel like he doesn't get much help besides from the running backs, and so it's just interesting how we kind of see that, right? But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's on him, right? He's the QB. No one touches the ball more than him. So he needs to make, you know, better decisions or at least better preparation. I don't know what it is. But you're right. He needs to win. He should have already won. I think
This
this
is the
this
thing
year
with
is going to be huge.
I think he will eventually get a Super Bowl. But once he does get that Super Bowl though, I think he's like top 5 quarterbacks ever. Cuz then he'll have a Super Bowl,
Hmm.
he'll have 2 MVPs.
Yeah.
Um he'll have one of the highest quarterback ratings career-wise cuz right now his quarterback rating is off the chart and his passer rating is off the chart. He has
Yeah.
about 4 perfect passer rating or QBRs games in his career, which is more than Tom Brady and a few of the other greats. Like when it's all said and done, he'll have the yards, he'll have the wins, he'll have the MVPs. All he's missing right now is that Super Bowl, bro. Like he needs to get that Super Bowl. Once he gets that Super Bowl, he'll really implement himself as one of the greats. And I hope it
Yeah.
come. I hope it come through, bro. I hope it
Me
do.
too. I
Cause
love Lamar. That dude is just so incredible to watch, and that's why it's just so frustrating and agonizing the fact that like last year, I think we all believed he should have won. Right? He should have beaten the Bills, and for him not to, like that, we're gonna criticize him for that. But it was a good game. Like I think we even
yeah,
talked about it the day before, or whatever. Like it was a setup to failure kind of situation. If he loses, we're gonna be here talking about how he's not doing good, and if he
yeah.
wins with it, he wins, right? But like, and he lost. So let's see. But that dude, if there's one dude, I think everyone is rooting for. Maybe not everyone, but there's no more. I think
I do think
he's
it's
there.
also I think it's also worth mentioning that he's playing in the AFC, right? He's playing against Mahomes, he's playing against Josh Allen, he's playing
Yeah,
against Joe Burrow. Whereas on the NFC, it's almost wide open, other than the Eagles. The Eagles is the king of the NFC right now. And all the other teams, they kind of fighting for that who gets to face off against the Eagles. But
yeah,
it's 4 legit, the top 4 quarterbacks in the league are all in the AFC. So that's
yeah.
that's tough because he's losing to great quarterbacks. Like he's losing to Josh Allen, he's losing to Patrick Mahomes. It's not like he's losing to the Texans or the Steelers in
Hmm.
the playoffs. He's losing to really good teams. So I see what you're saying, but I mean, I just want him to do it. Like because every like
I agree.
the last 3-4 years, like I'm looking at the team and I'm looking at how they're playing in a regular season. I'm like, bro, how they're playing in a regular season, it looks like no team should be able to stop them. like at all. And then they get to the playoffs, they look good, but when they run up into like some really good teams, it's like, like dang, they just fall short. And it's just like, damn, it's not,
It,
it's just doesn't happen. I just don't know why.
when
It's
they
just
run into a team that knows, hey, we need to get him to throw the ball to those wide receivers because those wide receivers are not the most consistent, then that's the formula, right? And defense that can do that because not every defense can. And I think that's why adding DeAndre Hopkins can be one of those pieces that really helps because sure he might have lost that speed, but you're telling me he can do a quick 10-yard out or in route
mhm,
or curl back just to catch the ball, just 10 yards or maybe even 5 to keep the lines moving, right? And he has
mhm.
secure hands. If there's one thing DeAndre Hopkins has, is secure hands. So
Yeah.
um, hopefully that's there. Then to finish off, number two, I have the Chiefs. Rashid Rice is coming back. They've had a year with Worthy there. Travis Kelsey, rumors are he has slimmed down. He seemed very motivated. In fact, it reminds me of when they went in their last run and won. The things that he was saying and how motivated he is.
Mhm,
So that's something to be. And again, the Chiefs are the Chiefs, right? And then I got the Eagles at number one because sure, while they lost on that defense, I think they did a pretty good job in drafting people to kind of replace those, and they still have that main core that they need that they kept, right? So the pieces that they lost or whatever, they had to do it for money and plus, whatever. But the core pieces are still there. All the defensive coordinators are still there. They still
mhm.
have a great kicker. So I have them at number one. And then my honorable mentions, just like you, I had the Texans in there and the Chargers. I, I I really like the Chargers. It's just like how I like how you brought it up. I don't think they've done enough on the wide receiver again on that
Mhm.
side. Besides Lad McConkey, who are you really afraid of in that wide receiver room? So, is there any other
Right.
NFL stuff before we move on?
Um, nah, nah. We can
Okay.
move on to the finals because I want to talk about that with you real quick. Before we
Yes.
get up out of here. But
And then there's something else I got to
um,
bring up, but go ahead.
go ahead
What's
and bring it
about the
up.
finals?
Go ahead and bring it up. I'm gonna run and grab my phone charger because my phone's about to
Okay.
die.
Bet.
But go ahead and bring it up.
Okay, so I just wanted to give the viewers just a little. If you've been watching the FIFA World Cup, the Club World Cup has been going on right now, and this is the first year they've done this. And just my reflection over it is that it has been actually pretty good. I know there was a lot of worry going in that, oh man, these European teams are just going to beat the dog shit out of all these other teams. But actually, these supposed like lesser club teams have been keeping up with and putting up a good fight against some of these European teams. The team that I watch from Argentina, Boca Juniors, hey, Mama Boca, uh, they had a chance to where they were tied with Bayern Munich, which is crazy, right? Bayern Munich is one of those historical great teams, wins the Champions League, yada yada. And for the large part of the match, it was 1-1, right? Um, and so like I think there needs to be maybe more money for those teams. Hopefully, this brings in more money for those clubs, and maybe they can afford to start keeping some of those older players. But man, it's actually has for those who are true soccer fans, this FIFA World Club World Cup thing has been really good, and the bracket that they're coming up with they're finishing um, setting up the round of 16. And I'll tell you what, some of these games look pretty interesting. I think the one that everyone has their eye on is the game that's going to take place on Sunday, June 29th at 11. PSG versus Inter Miami, right? Messi against his former club. See how that goes. But again, this has been really, really fun to watch. And the games and some of the teams that are again not the best have some of them when they score. Oh my gosh! When in one of the cases they actually beat one of the top teams, so that was crazy to watch. And then lastly, the Concacaf Cup. If you're watching that, U.S. against Costa Rica on Sunday at 6 in the evening. That's going to be interesting to watch. To see what happens there. But again, if you're asking me which one of these two tournaments I'm watching or the one that I think is the most fun to watch, it's definitely the club one. I'm very excited, and we shall see what happens.
So real quick though,
Yeah.
we got a couple of comments. So from Shrinking Genius, he said he missed the response. He said any opinions on the diss war? And he said, will there be an appearance from Zell? I, I don't
Good
know.
question.
um
Do you
I
want to
saw Jay
you want
Sean's
to let people
video.
know what's been going on, or because
You can go ahead and let them know real quick. Go ahead.
so what had happened was about three no in the beginning of the month of June. We had some friends. You saw we had some friends that were on the
Mm-hmm.
podcast or whatever. They came up through, and between our friend group, we decided to start a rap beef. And so me, Miles, and we put out a diss track. And then someone else in our group, aka Cino, decided to respond. And then after that, I had to respond, so I put a response. I do have a music video out there. Um, and then one of our friends, Jay Sean, uh, he has his. He responded, and so now, yeah, we're just all kind of just all dissing each other, having this rap beef, this war. It's been pretty fun. Uh, so I think that's a good question. Is there going to be an appearance by
I don't know,
Mr.
man.
Zell?
I don't got no beef with nobody in the group chat,
No,
man. I don't, man. I don't got no
I
beef
mean,
with nobody. So
I said a line to you. I don't know if you heard it.
oh, for real? Oh, I
Yeah.
gotta go back and listen to it. It was in a video.
Okay.
It was in a music video when Miles came down to
It
Houston.
is, but like for some reason, I feel like it got one of the words that's really important. I think got cut off or something happened. But
Mm.
I said, DC, your Commanders had one good year, and now you turn into the biggest Hurts hater out here.
Oh, okay. I might have to hop on
So,
that train. Then I don't know though, man. We got to see. We gotta take a look at it, man. I don't know. We're gonna find out. But who knows? I might let it die down, then I might bring it back and out of nowhere,
ooh.
you know. But
If you want to collab or anything, let me know. I don't mind, helping you out, being in there in the trenches with you. I'm always up for to antagonize our friends more. I enjoy the bicker.
yep, I do too, man. So we're gonna see. But we do got another comment from BWM 281. He
Mm.
says the Chiefs played most of last season without their wide receiver one, wide receiver two, running back one, and multiple defensive guys. Um,
Mm.
and they threw two guys in that left side position. The league finna be stressed again. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm expecting a lot from the Chiefs this next season. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. We getting a motivated Mahomes. Then they just drafted the Ohio State lineman, who's really good. So they should be a lot
Yeah.
healthier
Oh man, I'm still sad about
as
that.
well. So they're gonna be scary, man. They're gonna be scary.
Chiefs is like it's like the Golden State Warriors. Like as long as you have Mahomes,
Yeah.
Travis Kelsey, and I think Rasheed Rice is an important part of that now. Um, but I don't know if he's as important as those two first players. And then Andy Reid and oh man, who's a defensive coordinator? Um, not Stefanski. Uh, what's his name? That defensive coordinator for them
For who? The Chiefs?
for the Chiefs.
It's uh I can't think of it. I can't think of his name either.
Spagnola.
Spagnola, Steve Spagnola.
He is. They're so good. They're
Yeah,
like
they're
they
good.
remind me a lot of like the Patriots dynasty with Bell Belichick and Mike Patricia. Like that's what those two kind of remind. Like those two people, great communication. They know what they want and they get the
Mhm.
best out of their players. So it's yeah, yeah.
Real quick, let's go over
Let's do it. The finals.
the finals real quick, and then we can get up out of here.
Yeah.
I just want to say I can't remember what I initially said before the series started. I think I said the OKC in 6, right? Or
Let's
what did I say?
see.
OKC in 5.
You said you
I
had them
know.
in 5.
After some
Yeah.
point, I did say it was going to go 7. Once it was like 2-2, once the
Yeah, you
series
had
was
them in
tied.
5.
Yep, once the series was tied 2-2, I changed. I was like, yeah, this is going to go 7. And I think the OKC, but I always thought OKC was going to win. I do think that Tyrese Halliburton, um, even if he was healthy, I think he would have had a crazy game because he hit 3 threes, and he was going crazy. But I still think OKC was going to win that game either way. Because if Tyrese Halliburton was going crazy, that would have took minutes away from TJ McConnell. TJ McConnell had a really good game as well. If you remember, he hit like 8 or 10 straight buckets, eight or 10 straight points. Um, so I just don't think you can say if Tyrese played, they would have won the game. I just don't think you can say that. Um, but you know what's crazy though? If
Hmm.
Tyrese played, you know who was going to in the Pacers won that game. You know who was going to get Finals MVP if the Pacers won?
Pascal Siakam.
Pascal Siakam. Um, and I just don't understand Pascal. He didn't have a good game 7. If you looked at his stats and
Yeah.
the way he played, he didn't have the best game 7, and that was kind of surprising to me because he's been their go-to guy the whole series. He's the one that always gave him the bucket just so the lead didn't get too out of hand. He always hit those mid-range tough buckets. Uh, and he was getting to the rim at will as well. Like OKC couldn't do nothing with Pascal Siakam. So I just didn't know that he kind of had a not so good game that game 7. But we got people already saying like this is a Mickey Mouse ring and like that. I I
What?
hate like NBA fans, bro. Because you could say that every year about every team. You could say that about the Warriors. The few times they won, like there's injuries every season in the NBA, bro. Like you can't blame it. Like this is a legit ring, guys. Like let's stop the bull crap. This is legit. This is a legit win. This team won 60 something odd games this season. They got the MVP. Like this is a legit ring. Like let's not say this is a fake ring, but that was a good series.
It
Way
was.
better than I
That's
thought
why
it
it's
was going to
what
be.
I did not hear that. I didn't know people were saying it's a fake ring.
Yeah, like
That's huh?
it's the people that don't like Shy because he gets to the free throw line, like in the comment section and stuff like that. It's people that's like that. Like
I mean,
it's
I can kind of get that, but it's still no game's game. Like you just
like,
that's ball.
but
But
this was a good series though. I
it
didn't think it
was.
would be this good. Like, first of all, I gotta give my props to the Pacers. First of all, they deserve
I
everything
called it.
they get. Because first of all, they played the Bucks first series. I didn't
Yeah,
have them winning that series. And I granted, whatchamacallit tore his Achilles, but
literally.
I didn't have them winning that series. I didn't have them beating the Cavs. Granted, Darius Garland wasn't the healthiest.
Neither was Mobley
Um,
for
I
that
didn't
matter.
have them beating the Knicks. I didn't have
You
them
didn't.
winning any series,
Mm-mm.
and they won, and they got over to the finals. And not only that, they won in spectacular fashion. Tyrese Halliburton hit a game winner in every series, even the final series. The first game of like that team felt like the team of destiny, bro. And it sucks. And I know it sucks being a Pacers fan because this whole playoff run felt like the team of destiny. And you got all the way to game 7 of the finals against the best team in the NBA. And Halliburton has started the game hot.
Yeah.
He gets injured. So um I feel for
The
the
Pacer fans,
Pacers
the people of
fans. I
Indiana,
feel for the Pacers fans. Because that's
Tyrese.
just the worst way to go. That's the worst way to go. You've been having a Cinderella finals, make it all the way to this game 7 of the finals, and one of your best players gets injured. That's just that took
And the
away
fact
from
that he was battling that, right? Because that
yeah,
was something, that doesn't just
yeah,
begin to happen right there, right? That was something he was battling. I had I was on the Pacers bandwagon pretty early, but at the same time, man, that whole series, like you said, it was great. Anyone that loves basketball loves that series, loves
yeah,
what we saw. True lovers of the game. It had the story, so many stories in there. If you just want to look at that game, I'll tell you this. Oh man, okay. Um, the that game, I'm more of a Clippers fan, right? I'm more of a Clippers
hmm
fan, but I'm a huge Tyrese Halliburton fan. And man, when he fell, and they showed him, no, 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 man, that got to me. Call me soft if you want, I don't care, but
yeah.
that shit fucking got to me,
That
right?
was hard to watch. That was
That
hard to
was
watch.
so hard to watch. This dude's been battling that injury. He's been doing everything he can, and granted, like, he was giving them everything, and he goes down, and that happens, and then you see the team like go around him, and that team fought for him. That team had the lead going in the second half, right? Going into halftime.
Yeah,
They had now
they
it's
had
one
the
point,
lead.
but
Yeah,
they had the lead, and that was all because that was that our best players down. We gotta do what we can. You got TJ McConnell going off, and then I'll tell you this. I'll say this: OKC is not getting enough praise because I think a lot of people are spending. We're so surprised of how the Pacers are that they're talking a lot about them, and they love to
hmm
talk about what if Tyrese would have played? Then he, I'm gonna say I don't know. I think it still would have been a close game, and if it came down to a bucket, we've seen what Tyrese has been able to do.
yeah,
But OKC is great. They have a chance to be a dynasty team. They have a bright future. And right now, they're that team. And OKC is incredible. Why I don't like some of the tiki tack fouls that Shy gets. It's part of the game. And then also on the Pacer side to finish off, um, they also have a bright future. Now, something that they really need to consider, and it's going to be a thing that they're going to have to think about. They're going to have to negotiate with Myers Turner. They bring him back, okay, but for how much? Because he got 6 points that game. You know what I'm saying? And he was not in that series. He for some
you
reason,
right.
that was a series he
You
was
right.
really cold on,
Yeah, he didn't have the best series. Yeah, that's game 7.
right?
He missed some open threes that game 7. And
And that
granted,
was the thing.
he's a center, but he's usually a pretty solid 3-point shooter.
And that's the thing. Watching him, if there's one thing that I hate about these centers nowadays is that they tend to try for the first couple of shots, or sometimes they extend it too much or they do it too much, is they try to shoot the three. Dude, you're fucking 6 foot 11, 12, 7 feet, whatever the case. If you're missing one or two threes after you miss that second three, that third shot should not be a three. If I'm a coach and my center who can make threes fine, but you miss two threes, you need to take your ass to the paint. Do that pick and roll, and then you drive it to the paint. And that's something, and I'm only saying this because,
Is that
hindsight or
Steph Curry's
whatever.
fault? Whose fault is that?
Uh,
Is that LeBron's fault? Is that Steph Curry's fault? Is it James Harden's fault?
it's Steph Curry's fault, 100%. Yeah, that's the only reason why we're talking about threes like this. So
All right,
I mean, like
I think
it
it's a
frustrates
mixture.
me.
I think it's a mixture between LeBron, Harden, and Steph Curry. And I'm gonna tell you why real quick before we get up out of here. Steph
Okay,
Curry, because he's the greatest shooter, they shoot a lot of threes.
sure.
James Harden, Rockets, they shot the most threes out of anyone during that period of time. They shot so many threes, it was ridiculous, bro.
Yeah.
James Harden would drive, get into the lane, kick out. They shot so many threes, and that was their mantra. They would shoot more threes than twos. It
But
worked.
Clint Capella on that team, while they did that, Clint Capella was
Yeah,
not looking for it.
yeah.
He would
He was,
always go down, and that was the thing that
yeah.
made him look so good that the Atlanta wanted to pick him up.
Yeah,
Just throwing that
and
out
I
there.
do I do give some blame to LeBron because, and it's not blame like you ruined the league. It's just the way that the league has evolved because 3 points are worth
True.
more than two, and everyone got better at shooting the threes. But when it comes to shooting threes, streakiness comes with shooting threes, good and bad
Yeah.
streaks, good and bad
Yeah.
streaks. So players got to deal with that. But before we get off,
For
who
sure.
are
And we
your
can talk about
top?
this later. Let's put a cap on this because I do want to talk about it because it happens with Cat, with Karl Anthony Towns. There's a bunch of there's like a couple of centers
Yeah,
that are on my shit list, and I know they're on Charles Barkley and Shaq's every
yeah.
year because
I think
they can decide series.
Anthony Davis, a power forward. I think he takes too many threes too.
Yeah.
And he's not even a
So
center. I just think it's a big man problem that we have in the league today. They want to play like guards and shit,
yeah.
and they want to play out of position. And part of it, like LeBron, when he came, LeBron was the first pure positionless player that we've ever seen. He was the first positionless player. Before LeBron, everyone had a position and everyone played to their position, right? Magic Johnson, he's a point guard, he's a passer. Michael Jordan, shooting guard, he did shooting guard things. Kobe, shooting guard, he did shooting guard things. Kevin Durant, Kevin Durant came after LeBron, but still, like when LeBron came, LeBron did everything. He was the facilitator, he was the
Yeah.
scorer, and he could play center at sometimes.
KD a
He could
Rocket now.
KD a Rocket. That's gonna be a scary team. But I gotta put that out there. But before we get off the court, real quick, we ain't gonna make this too long because I want to ask you this because I had this discussion with my cousin and he's a
All right.
big Kobe fan. All he thinks Kobe's the greatest player to ever live, even more than MJ.
I
Who
respect
is
it.
in your top three? Real quick, give me your spiel. We can talk about this next week too if you want, but real quick, who is your top three NBA players of all time? And I'm gonna tell you
Damn.
mine.
Okay. I can say two. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, off the top.
Well, who's one
Um,
though? Who's one
between those two,
between those two? Like if you had to say it, I know it's hard.
why? And you didn't. I don't know. Let's leave people with a cliffhanger. Um,
Okay, well, give me your top three players then.
because that's you want to make this quick, and that's I can't make that quick.
Okay,
But I would say Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and I would have to put up there. Oh man,
because I know that third. See, that's most people
there.
consensus. Most people consensus is Jordan and LeBron, but then you got them people that come in and say it's MJ and Kobe. Like, bro, I love Kobe, bro. I love Kobe. Kobe was that. He was a dog. But come on, bro. Like, what do like? Yes, he scored 81 points. I'm not saying he can't score. I'm not saying he's a bad player when I say I don't put him in my top 2. I don't even put him in my top 3, to be honest. He's in my top 5, but
Yeah.
he's not in my top 3 players, bro. And it's no knock to Kobe. Kobe was great. But for one, it's sad, but 3 of his championships, he was robbing on the team. He was robbing to Shaq. And
Or
on top of
Pau.
that,
He always had a big man, Pau Gasol.
on top of that, he had too many games where he shot poorly, bro. Like he shot bad. He would shoot himself out of games. He would shoot his team out of games. But he had the Mamba mentality to take them shots. I'm not taking that away from him, but for me, he's not in my top 3. I'm gonna leave it at that. My top 3 is Jordan, LeBron, and Kareem. Jordan, LeBron, and Kareem, bro.
Guess who I'm literally looking up right now? Is Kareem.
Yeah. And then if you want to round it out, I don't even got an order, but it's the next 3 players is between Shaq, Steph, and Magic. Those are the next 3 players.
So how about this? Because actually, I would agree with you. I would go Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Michael Jordan and LeBron James we'll talk about later. But Kareem, I would put him third in that third slot.
Yeah.
And then later, and what we can do is we can create a top 10 all time. Or create a top 10 all time for next time.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right,
Yes,
and
sir.
all right, man. But hey, hope you and your family are doing good. You know, best wishes as always. If you haven't been watching the games, highly recommend it. There's this app called the Zone DZN where you can watch the games for free. You create an account. Highly recommend. You know, to anyone out there, the Club World Cup. It is going. All right.
All right, bro.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace out.